That's Mik'd Up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J. Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground, I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there, he's punching me in the stomach, like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Ochenko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's been with the team 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ochenko can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You're more fucked up than me.
On the Spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
you heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her and I smelled.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for the show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle?
My dad tell you about it.
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now.
Hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Wednesday. July 3rd is the eve of July 4th, the eve of the hot dog eating contest, which defending, I don't know how many time defending champ is not going to be there.
15?
He sold his soul to another sponsor. And you know, money talks. I guess they took him out of there. The money was too good for him to pass up.
Now their sponsor, he's a turncoat. He went away from
Nathan's.
all-American beef hot dogs to go vegan.
That's a very weird decision by him. But
$2 million.
hey, I think he should be offered more than that. Nathan's gave him a lot in his life, you know.
We'll see what the prize money
He's
that
the
he's
professional.
won.
He's the professional eater. You know,
He
he's
is.
been in all these eating contests, but it's that's not what you're here to talk about. It's 4th of July. It's Happy America Day tomorrow. But today we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of sports to talk about. It's Ask Mikie and Mitch Wednesday. Put your questions in the chat. If you haven't sent them to us on social media, there's not a lot of sports happening right now, but I'm sure there's a lot of questions that you have about the transfer portal, about what's going to happen with LSU baseball. Why are so many people leaving? Who are we going to get to replace them? All those types of things. Lucky for you, we got the answers. Or maybe. Or we have the conversation here. We don't have the answers always, but
we'll talk you through it.
We have our opinions. We can talk it through. We'll change our minds on air sometimes by the way we talk it through. That's what the show's about. Hang out with the boys, talk shop, see what we can change your minds, so you see if you can change our minds. We're going to talk about the portal. More names have come out. Thatcher Hurd is the latest one. Ryan Kucherak, the shortstop from California, also his name is in the portal. He's played sparingly this year. He's a freshman shortstop, really good with the glove, struggled a little bit with the bat early on, as most freshmen do. He is now in the portal. Thatcher Hurd in the portal. Do not contact me. Don't talk to me. I know where I'm going. I still have a feeling he's going to get drafted high enough to where he's probably going to sign. But he is in the portal. People are up in arms about what's going on. I don't think it's as dire as people are making it out to be. I know there's the sheer number of names that are in the portal, kind of scary. But if you really deep dive into the guys that are in there and their production on the team, it's one of those things where, hey, they didn't play well or play at all. They're going to get a better opportunity somewhere else. Good for them. LSU's going to bring some other guys in, try to fill those holes. We're going to talk about that. We talked a little bit about that on Monday. Some of the A&M guys have made their decision of where they're going to go. They're going to go back to A&M. So the portal starts to clear up a little bit. Some added names. Center fielder from Kentucky, McCarthy kid in the portal. Kind of a guy who nobody really thought was gonna be in the portal. University of Washington shortstop / second baseman in the portal. Really good player. 2 years of experience. Seems like he's going to follow Kelly to A&M. Jason Kelly, the head coach at Washington, is now the pitching coach at A&M. You'd imagine that their middle infielder is probably going to follow him. Part of the reason why he's in the portal. We will discuss amongst the squad throughout the course of the day. Dylan Cruz and Trey Morgan, congratulations. They are part of the MLB All-Star Futures Game, which is a big honor for them. It is, if you're not familiar with that Futures Game, if you're not familiar with baseball, which why would you? Because baseball doesn't give a fuck if you are. They don't try to help anybody and promote anything for baseball, but we'll do that for them. If you don't know, the MLB Futures Game is the prospects, all of the up-and-coming prospects around Major League Baseball from all the teams. They get to play against each other as part of All-Star Week. It's a big honor as a prospect. It was one of the things that I really wanted to get, never got. Were you there?
No, I never played it. Nope, never did it.
But it was one of those things that'd be really cool. You get to go to the All-Star Game. You get to kind of experience that for a little bit. You get to leave the minor league season for just a little bit.
About a day or two early.
Yeah, it used to be. So before baseball got smart, the minor league All-Star Game
was not
the same time as the Major League All-Star Game, which didn't make much sense to us. I've played with players that have been called up to the big leagues. Congratulations, kid. Your dream come true. You made it. Called up to the big leagues in end of May. Stay in the big leagues for a month. Great. Good paycheck. Month and a half. Awesome. Missed minor league All-Star break. Major League All-Star break. Hey, kid.
Back down.
You're going back down. Misses Major League All-Star break. So no break. No All-Star break for this guy. Going up and down, missing such a tough situation. I would take that for the 6 weeks that you get in the big leagues if you're there, or the week, or however long you're up there.
Day. Cup of coffee.
But baseball made it smart, and now it said, hey, All-Star games are on the same time. Makes a lot more sense. Now you don't have to miss a couple minor league games to go play in this Futures Games. But Dylan Cruz and Trey Morgan both in there, both well-deserving. Dylan Cruz has been on a tear since he got to AAA. Trey Morgan has been on a tear all year. He's hitting .330 for the year. He's in high A. Dylan Cruz is in AAA. Congratulations to both of those guys. Really cool experience for them. And I'll probably tune in to watch them play.
Yeah, of course.
I'm hoping Paul Skenes maybe gets a little bit of a – I don't know if he's going to have enough innings.
You think they'll let him throw on the Futures Game? No.
I'm talking about the big Hefe All-Star Game. He probably should be there. I'd imagine he's got one or two more starts. It's the third. The All-Star Game's on the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Our All-Star
16th,
breaks
I
on the – so I think the All-Star breaks on the
16th.
So the 13th is when it starts.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, let's see. So it's going to be like a –
I believe they are announcing picks as we are on air. Vladimir Guerrero was
the
starting
starters.
first base.
They're
Yes.
starters.
Yeah.
The rosters are announced on July 7th. So it really doesn't matter. No, he's not going to his innings limit, it's not going to really matter. He only has really one more start maybe before that, but I think the voting's
16th.
Yeah, the voting's concluded. I would hope that he would make it. I don't know if he's going to make it. I think he's going to win the Cy Young, to be honest with you. I really do. I know it's a bold statement, but
Why does he keep doing this to himself?
No. I mean,
I just don't. I really don't. I don't know.
I really do think he can win the Cy Young. I mean, you're not.
I mean, you really thought Dylan was gonna hit 500 last year too. Like, I don't. Why do you do this?
I did for a minute, but here's the deal though. Like, he hasn't shown me anything. I know it's a long season, right? Obviously, I think he's a shoe-in for the Rookie of the Year. Like, I think that he's going to continue unless he gets hurt or something happens. I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. But I think when you look up at the end of the year and you look at his numbers, they don't look at wins and losses anymore. He's going to have enough innings to qualify, and I think that he's going to be, if not, he's going to have consideration for the Cy Young. I mean, he's got a 2. And I don't think that and here's the deal. He hasn't even had his game yet where it was like, holy shit. He hadn't had the Strasburg Rookie of the Year where he had 14, 15 strikeouts in a game. He hadn't had that.
I don't know why you do that.
I don't care. I mean,
dude, there's some people backing you up on that.
No, I'm not. This isn't as far-fetched as the other ones that I've said.
I don't think so. I mean,
this one's pretty reasonable.
I'm not saying that it's far-fetched. I'm just saying, can we name the last rookie to do it?
I was about to look it up.
And I'm not saying that he's the regular rookie. I'm not saying that at all.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I don't know if there's ever been one.
Oh, there's a list.
Okay, perfect. Who was the last one?
Oh, this is Cy Young and Rookie of the Year, so I'd imagine they'd go hand in hand.
Yeah, probably go hand in hand.
Yeah, so it starts off Dwight Gooden. That was a while ago. Don Newcomb a while ago. Tom Seaver a while ago. Rick Sutcliffe a while ago. Fernando Valenzuela, Dodger, a while ago. Justin Verlander, Jacob deGrom. Not as far-fetched as you would think with the last two.
Right, so...
And I don't know of anybody that has as much pop right now as...
That's my thing, right?
Yeah.
I think they're not going to give it to him. He's going to have to earn it, and he's going to have to probably over-earn it because he's a rookie. But the way he's pitched and how he's navigated through some of these lineups, not having some of his best stuff and still going 6 innings on some of the starts, to me it shows a lot. He hasn't even taken that next step of like, oh, here's my 13, 14 strikeout game. I'm not saying that may not happen, but I don't think this one's as far-fetched as, maybe 1,000 yards receiving.
My only question is, and it's not even an injury thing, it's just load. Is there any load management? Is there a point of where he gets tired? Does he continue to pitch if they're not in the race down the stretch?
So I think the load management happened at the beginning of the year for this reason.
Well, my point, once again, if they fall out of contention, do they continue to push him out there knowing like, hey, this is one we got for a long, especially when you just came off the heels. Obviously, it wasn't them, but if I just watch what Steven Strasburg did and we fall out of contention in the last 3 or 4 weeks, am I really going to keep pushing this guy with that kind of top end?
I'm glad you said that. You know why I think they do that? Because the CBA and the owners made an adjustment.
They did.
And in the CBA, it says, hey, we're going to give you incentive to call guys up earlier than you may have called them up. Because we don't want to hold them down. We don't care if you're not going to win. But if you call them up and you're a team that's trying to start winning and you're not winning now, he wins Rookie of the Year. You get an extra pick.
And then so once again, it kind of almost nullifies it for me because if we're talking about the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season from where Skenes has been called up and how much he will have pitched at that point, will it matter? Will he need those last 3 or 4 weeks of the season?
Who knows?
So that's my point. Like that's when it comes to me thinking about Cy Young, those are the things. Not so much off of talent and or performance. It's about those things and how far they go in this thing.
I think that same conversation happens if he's good enough to win that and he's already done enough to win that shoe in with 3 weeks to go in the season. I think the same thing happens with that. I really do. But we'll see. I mean, there's a whole half of the season left. They're going to have the ability to adjust on him over and over again. They've seen him a lot now, so we'll see what happens. I'd imagine there's probably going to be a hiccup here or there.
Plus 6,500 to win the NL Cy Young.
Who's leading?
Skenes. Oh, I don't know. That's just all I looked up was Paul Skenes. Here we go. Oh, never mind.
I wouldn't be shocked if he won the Cy Young. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you can't bet it right now on some apps. I just looked it up. Not available.
But we shall see. So, I would like to see him in the All-Star game. I'm going to tune in to watch Trey Morgan and Dylan Cruz in the Futures game. Football, man. Football. It's here, kind of.
It's here.
It's projection season.
You got a lot of conversation going on, starting to rumble about LSU football.
Right.
It's you know how this works. It's July. You're kind of in a dead period. Everybody's trying to find something to talk about, or hey, let's really push our way to football season.
Yeah.
So now football conversations. Oh, Nussmeier comes out in the media and says Kyron Lacey playing great, taking his next step, being the guy. Chris Hilton turning heads. Everybody's turning head season right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is good. What do we say before Baseball came in the offseason. Oh, I came in the best shape of my life. Big, great offseason. Did all these things. Of course, all optimism, all great, right?
I saw me put on 15 pounds of muscle.
Yeah. Remains to be seen, but we're going to, talk a little bit about what we hope to see. And is this conversation real? Is it just Nussmeier trying to pump up the receiving core, or is this actually there's some validity to it? And then on the football side, finishing off our Heineken headlines, Hard Knocks. I probably should have known this, but I kept seeing Hard Knocks clips on Twitter and on Instagram, and I thought they were just teasing already the August part of Hard Knocks. I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense because they don't pre-record it. So it's a pretty much live deal. And so that's impossible. And so then I found out that there's a preseason Hard Knocks. I didn't get to watch the first episode. It opened up yesterday. Off-season. Hard Knocks before training camp Hard Knocks, or before training camp Hard Knocks, and before in-season Hard Knocks.
Really hard.
I don't know if there's another way you can add Hard Knocks. I think this is the last part of the season.
Oh, postseason Hard Knocks.
Yeah. Oh, I guess you could do a postseason Hard Knocks. Do teams want a postseason Hard Knocks? Well, you've had teams in Hard Knocks midseason make the postseason. They didn't stop it, so I guess they would just pick another team for the postseason.
I guess because of what
like the Dolphins, they
rode
in-season
rode it
postseason.
until the wheels fell off. Yeah,
and they didn't bring them to the postseason.
But I guess now with the midseason, you have 3 chances for one of those teams has to make the playoffs in the AFC North. Or
you
what
get
is
an
it,
inside
4
look
teams?
this year.
Yeah, regardless.
Different ball clubs. That's a lot.
Yeah, it debuted yesterday.
Yeah,
y'all watched it. I haven't yet. You watched it?
Oh yeah,
you watched it.
Yeah.
Shout out Hunter Hall. Gave me his account.
Look at you, always fucking getting it.
Don't be jealous, dude.
Somehow. I have my own.
Oh, you were next on the list.
I have my own. I look at my freaking credit card statement. And you're like, God damn, I'm paying a lot of money for subscription services.
I know. I appreciate it.
That's what they do. And that's how they do it.
You get to share them. That's why you pay all that money. If you just split it up into how many people are using it, you're probably getting a deal. People helping people.
You're getting the deal.
Absolutely.
Not me. Talk to me about it. How was Hard? How was it? What is it like? I mean, I know they go through the draft, but like, there's no games. There's no.
Yeah, I think this is like their way of being able to give you different content for different minds, if you will. Like there is I'm always interested in the front office side of it, and speaking for that kind of person right now, I would imagine that person who's in love with football right now is in love with what they're showing right now, which is a different side of it that we don't really get to see how things go in the offseason. How they kind of show you a little bit so far in the first episode how one of the big trades of the offseason came about. They're going to talk about the draft. They're obviously going to talk about the process, and you'll see the process of them drafting Malik Neighbors later on. So like it's
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
spoilers.
It's interesting, and you'd be surprised at how cavalier and how casual some of these conversations and some of these situations are, and it's pretty funny to see it. Like they showed multiple times in there a room full of people talking about if we should or if we shouldn't keep Saquon, and will they or will he not get this number that he wants on the market, and kind of some of the conversations you see going. You're like, boy, we're making this thing way harder than what it needs to be, but that's
right.
That's
so
what it is.
I think some people look at who don't really know the ins and outs of those types of things, right? We don't know all the ins and outs. We've seen it from a different perspective than most casual fans, but as a casual fan, you see that and you think automatically, oh, they're making a decision who they're going to sign free agency or what they should do with Saquon, and you imagine like, oh, they're sitting down all in their suits and talking to each other and trying to figure out, crunching their minds. But in reality, a lot of those conversations happen like these conversations happen.
Hey, there's 2 points
Which
that
is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy because there's 2 points I saw from the first show, and spoiler alert, I'll give it a little bit of it. If you didn't see it, oh well, you'll see it tonight. But they talked about, there's 2 points. One of the points was they were talking about Saquon, and the GM basically said, we need to figure out if our quarterback's good. We're not paying our quarterback $40 million to turn it around and hand it off to $60 million.
Which I respect that too.
So he was like, we have to spend those resources elsewhere. And you're like, man, that makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
Like, if I'm going to pay you $40 million, I need to see you produce. Producing doesn't mean turn around and hand it off for 16. And obviously Saquon does more than just that. But that was kind of the thought process of it, right? And so, like, they talked about that, which you're like, oh, makes sense. Crazy. Kind of think about it, and you're like, okay. But then there was another part where they showed basically where the Giants GM, Joe Schoen, broke the news. I won't say news, but kind of had the conversation with the owner about, I don't think we're going to be able to give it to Saquon. And you could tell, like, the owner was kind of like, man. And the human emotion of it really doesn't matter, like, who you are. Like, there's so many people in that situation making the money that they're making, understanding the pressures, and really not listening to what's outside of the building, but would see that emotion from the owner and be like, maybe I need to keep him. Maybe I need to find a way to keep him, as opposed to being like, no, I got to stick to my guns, stick to what I've learned, stick to everything that I've kind of been taught, and do what's best for the team. When you're watching the owner, the guy who's signing your checks and everybody in the building's checks, go, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's tougher and that's heavier than you think it is.
And
man.
good on the owner for saying, all right,
It's your call.
I hired you to do this job. This is your job.
But you're saying that too, which is great. But you got to imagine for 32 teams, that's probably not the situation. And we'll show a situation where that probably didn't happen that way. You can tell off of a video we'll show later. But, like, you can tell, man, like, it's superhuman in some of these situations. And you can see how, like, from the outside in, from a fan's perspective, when you're not inside those doors and you're like, wow, that was a really stupid decision. Some of these decisions can go, like, haywire just off of human emotion and how people go back and forth instead of sticking to what you can see what's going on.
And overthinking it and changing narratives because you want it to work, right? Like, there's stats out there and there's numbers out there and there's things. You can do a bunch of different things and frame them certain ways to make your point valid. The way you want it. Make it, justify it to yourself in your head based off of the numbers that you've basically skewed. You didn't make them up.
Yeah.
You just looked at the numbers that you wanted to look at and avoided the ones you didn't, right? And I think the good ones, the good GMs, the good owners, the good
franchises,
GM, coaches, all of them, they make the decisions based off of everything combined. It's not just emotion. It's not just the stats. It's not just the analytics. It's not any of that. It's all of that combined, right? Because there is an emotional component to it, and you got to understand, okay, listen, this guy may fall off, but it's having him in the locker room and still there because he's still performing at a decent level. Is that more important than – and that's all mixed in together and it's ratioed and it's weighed certain ways.
There's also, too, like, there's still some sort of – you can make the most informed and savvy decision you could possibly make, but there's also still a little bit of – things kind of got to go your way sometimes. Luck kind of got to happen. Injuries, you got to kind of avoid the injury bug. And some of these things you can't kind of stay away from. And if you allocate too much money in a situation to somewhere or some position and you end up getting the injury there and you don't have the backup situation or you don't have the type of players and stuff behind it, how much those things can kind of hurt your team and how much it could kind of nosedive what you got going on and where it can go from there. It's fascinating, honestly. It really is.
I think you're going to see more of the business side of football in this
Hard Knocks
pre-season.
Yeah.
Or what would you say it was?
It's Hard Knocks
off season.
Yeah,
off season. Yeah. That was the season.
From what I took away from it is that Joe Sheehan is the guy that gave Daniel Jones that contract.
For sure.
And now he's the one that says, I can't make two mistakes on the books like this. And whether it might not be the right decision, I made my bet.
No
I'm going to have to lay it.
Which I respect.
And I'll die with it.
But it doesn't matter because it goes either way. Like, say you give Saquon the money, y'all still suck next year. You don't throw for anything. Daniel's still on the roster. Guess what's probably going to happen anyway? Hey, Joe, it's not working out.
Yeah, right.
No doubt. But I respect him for saying, all right, this is the guy we picked. If we're going to give this guy a legit shot, Saquon is
I should have given Saquon
really
the contract.
Or say, okay, I like the fact that I think that Saquon is good. He's been hurt a little bit, but he's good. Maybe I feel like I can take that in that money, like he said, and make the squad around Daniel Jones better. It may not be as good at running back, but maybe splitting it up makes it better. So I respect him for saying, this was my choice. This was my decision to give him this money. He's our starting quarterback. Let me give him the resources and see if he can be that guy. And if he can't be that guy, I own it. I may lose my job because of it, but we messed up. If you try to put Band-Aids on it like the Bears tried to do with Justin Fields and say, okay, you're good. You're going to do your thing. We're not going to really give you any help on the offensive line. You don't have a ton of position guys around you. And then you start saying, okay, well, now we're going to add a piece here. Now you're going to run more, just trying to put Band-Aids to try to win. Then you get stuck with, oh, maybe he's still good. Maybe he's still good. Maybe he's still good. Instead of saying, we know or we don't know. And I respect him for giving that opportunity.
Yeah, it feels like in some of the comments on the sidelines from Joe Sheehan, like whenever they were talking to, I don't know, he did this cut on camera. He's on the sidelines. He's like, I mean, I love watching. Oh, it's at the East-West Shrine game. Football. And he was talking about, like, these guys, all these guys need opportunities. Like, they're older, senior guys that have been overlooked. He's like, I love this. I need guys that are playing for their life, kind of like we are. Like, he knows his nuts are on the table, and he's going to live or die by Daniel Jones. And if it doesn't go well, they'll both be gone.
Yeah,
no
doubt.
In the same breath, he was also saying, maybe we should draft a quarterback.
Well, I mean, I think he knows the verdict is still out on him. So, like, but it was a $40 million decision they made, and you're married to that one, buddy.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna have to live with it or not, and you made the decision. It's cool though, because like we sit there and we talk this and we talk like these multi-million-dollar decisions are literally being made as casual and as cavalier as we're having this conversation right now.
No doubt.
It's
not. Hey, everybody put their pen, their paper on the desk, and everybody get ready, and let's start taking notes. And it's not a board meeting every single time they make these decisions. It's in this situation. All right, we're gonna have a conversation. All right, that's what we think. Yeah, you're right. They already have everybody knows the stats and numbers and all that stuff. Now it's about this.
Yep.
Change my mind that we shouldn't, or change my mind that we should, right? And I think that's really cool. That's a really cool part of football that you don't really get to see. You hear about the nasty side of it, but you don't get to see how do they get to that nasty side or how do they get to the good side. That's awesome to me.
Speaking of roster management.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Look at you. We're getting back on the same wavelength.
I like that.
You've done this 2 shows in a row where I was literally trying to maneuver the conversation to the segue. I get to the segue. I'm in the middle of getting to the segue, and you get right in there. I love that.
And let's see if we're going to say the same thing.
You're talking about the LSU baseball roster.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt, right? And so my advice or my message to everybody is let's not panic right now about seeing the amount of names you're seeing in the portal from LSU. You have lost a lot. You got to replace a lot. But that's the nature of the beast that we live in right now, that's college sports. And if you really dissect all of the guys that are in the portal, how many, I'm not saying they're not good or not going to be good, but how many can you look at and you say, man, that person was a key contributor on the team before?
There's not that many of that, but we also do know how many guys make, whether it's you're playing and or you sit that entire freshman year, there's a lot of guys that make that second year jump.
Yeah.
So that's where you're kind of sitting there saying like, okay, this was a first year guy. Well, what is that going to turn into year 2 when they go somewhere else? I think that's probably the bigger question, not so much as to what they did or didn't bring to the 2024 team is what are we going to be missing when they show up and they play for the 2025 season?
And so Jay brought in a #1 recruiting class in the country with this recruiting, like with the freshmen of 2 years ago, right? Out of that recruiting class, you have Derek Mitchell, who's an outfielder. Austin Rolig, I believe he's from that class, transferring. You have MJ Seo transferring, and Ryan Kutrek, who's #2 shortstop in Arizona, transferring. So that's 4 of them, 4 of that freshman class that are not going to give themselves an opportunity to maybe get into the lineup the next year. They're going in the portal, and they are moving out. So that's, to your point, you have these guys that are young and gone. You don't have the ability to see if they're going to be able to pan out and be the person the team that the guys that they want, right? And look, you see that with other schools. Prime example was Charlie Condon, right? Wasn't good enough to play as a freshman, redshirted, stayed there, didn't transfer. And people say, oh, he didn't have a lot of opportunities to transfer. Everyone's got an opportunity to transfer, right? And so he sticks it out, stays in Georgia next year, All-American, next year Golden Spikes, going to be a top 5 pick in the draft. Go ahead.
But because the way I interpret what you're saying is you got to realize, too, him coming into college also wasn't sweated by every school in the nation.
Right.
So his mindset of should I transfer is not, well, man, I had Florida, South Carolina, all these schools in my back pocket, and I chose not to go there.
Yeah.
Man, maybe I should go there now. his situation was, well, I only really kind of lately got the offer from Georgia,
so
and it was only as a preferred walk-on.
Yeah.
So I'm probably just gonna stay here because what am I gonna get anywhere else?
Right.
So like those situations, like the truth of it is, bro, it's 2024 and the NIL is live and well, and so is the portal. And I think player retention is at an all-time high when it comes to being how hard it is to keep players in your program. And we had this kind of off camera conversation, but I do think like nowadays, especially for the top 10 to 15 type programs in the country where you can get to what is the top flight recruit nowadays, I think it's actually harder to keep these guys because with the draft being knocked down from 50 players, from 50 rounds to 20 rounds, there's that many more people that are in the pool. So there's that many more opportunities of guys possibly going to college. There's that many more chances of you saying, hey, if you slip and you're not getting the money you want, maybe we can supplement some of that while you come and get this stuff done here.
Right.
So when you're getting players like this at a higher rate that are quote-unquote better players with more talent, however you want to look at it, and it doesn't go right year one or year two, those guys are only looking for the next opportunity somewhere. Why? Because they had 10 other schools knocking on their door.
No doubt. Now, I was double checking this because I heard something during the season. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Somebody, and it was an actual player, I think. It wasn't like a coach. And their comment to me was like, look, I know Charlie Connors getting all this, like he wasn't good, but he wasn't not good. Like he had opportunities. He was the 32nd overall player in Georgia, right? Coming out of high school, the #1 first baseman. So, like, his point was he had other opportunities, maybe not other SEC schools.
No, he didn't have any other real offers. He had.
I know, but people are saying that they're acting like he wasn't rated. Like, he was the #1 first baseman. They're saying there was another reason why.
Well, no. The other reason why was because that was the COVID year. So they didn't get to play much baseball that year. He didn't really have much of an offer. So he was a fall through the cracks guy, basically.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of what happened for him.
But he was rated as the #1 first baseman in Georgia, 12th in the country. So I'm not saying he didn't have offers. I'm just saying he was good. In high school, just kind of fell through the cracks. But yes, to your point, he fell through the cracks, and so he wouldn't have these teams that already knew him or familiar with him.
Or that were offering.
Yeah.
These teams might have been familiar, but, like, nobody offered. Like, you got to imagine he's from Georgia, played on probably a prominent travel ball team, so people probably saw him play, and he didn't get that many offers. So when he doesn't play the year, he's probably not thinking, well, I can go over here for sure start. I had a great relationship with this coach or this team, and they offer this or they offer that. There wasn't any offers.
Right.
So for him, it was like, well, if I'm going to transfer, what am I transferring to?
Yeah. He was content being there without having to play at a small school.
Right.
Is what he was. I mean, like, he wasn't going to trade to Wofford. He wasn't going to transfer to Wofford just to play. Yeah. He loved Georgia, was going to stay at Georgia, was going to stick it out because he didn't have a bigger offer, no doubt. But all these guys transfer from LSU have bigger offers.
Right.
This Rowley kid's going to Utah. Micah Bucknam is going to DBU. Aiden Moffitt obviously going to Texas, and Cam Johnson is going to Oklahoma. Dutton going back to Alabama at Auburn. Zeb Rudell going back home up to Ruston to Louisiana Tech. Paxton Kling going back home to Pennsylvania, transferring to Penn State. And then Javon. So you have other guys in there that, they're all going to pretty significant schools. A lot of them are kind of going back to the area that they are from.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be so nervous about the amount of people in the portal, though. Like, that is just kind of where it's at. You have all these guys. Out of all those guys, Paxton Kling probably had the most playing time. And him and Dutton. But Dutton's a senior. I understand why Dutton. Like, he has – go out there and play your last year and have an opportunity to be there out there all the time. Aiden Moffitt was in and out. Cam Johnson didn't get a ton. Brady Neal had, obviously, a lot of experience. Paxton Kling had a lot of experience. Kucherak was a freshman. Lohr came in as a transfer. So, like, there wasn't a ton of, like, damn, these guys –
you didn't lose a ton of
not
production.
Not like you're losing the center fielder from Kentucky
but you
who started every day.
I get what you're saying. I just think it's more of a, like, there's two players in here who we knew that if they're on the roster next year and they're healthy, they're gonna play in 30 plus, probably start 30 plus games. There's two guys in here that we kind of felt that way about. But who's to say Kucherak doesn't go somewhere next year?
No doubt. No,
so, like, we don't know what they would have turned into, but of what we know, there's two guys on that list where we're like, that's for sure shoes that we're going to have to fill.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Kucherag may have been
Good. You
able to
just don't know
step in
yet.
from day, but we didn't see it here.
Right.
So we don't know that yet.
We don't have anybody. I guess my point is we don't have anybody in the portal that has done something of significance
That we were planning on having in line. That we know for a fact. Yeah.
That was a starter. We don't have anybody leaving. Like I said, the Kentucky center fielder gone. Starter, Omaha, middle of the lineup guy, homers. Like
you knew February 14th, Valentine's Day next year, he was going to be in the lineup playing center field for him.
Play hitting 3, 2-hole, whatever.
Even these two guys I talked about, I'm not sure they would have been that, but I'm pretty sure they would have had probably 30-plus starts and played in a ton of games.
Right.
But we don't have anybody where you're like, oh, wow, we just lost our 2-hole here.
Right.
We don't.
Right.
We don't have that.
And look, they may have been
Or
that
for
guy.
sure,
Yeah, they
two-hole
may
hitter,
have
yeah.
become that guy.
Yeah.
You don't know. And some of them are. They're going to go and they're going to play well.
I can tell you right now, like as we talk about this right now, the one thing I would like for everyone not to do is, I promise you, with that many names and the guys that come here, with the merit that they have coming here, those guys, somebody in that group, multiple in that group, is going to go somewhere next year and put up a good year.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
No doubt.
That's 100% going to happen. So to sit here and say, oh, wow, they were for sure going to do that here, we don't know. Let it play out.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you just look. It's very unpredictable. Listen, you look at the Giacomo. The Giacomo transfer from here. He played in and out, had some moments, had some starts. Didn't really get to the point where he really wanted to be. Transferred to Duke and had his best year of his career. Mm-hmm. I think they made it to I know they're in the postseason.
I think they lost in the
Supers
regional.
Yeah. Year. And so, you're going to have guys that go out and do that. You're going to have guys that transfer and, you're going to have a guy like the kid from Alabama who transferred from Alabama to Florida, and he was supposed to be in the lineup, and he ends up hitting 20 home runs as a shortstop at Florida. Right? Like, we don't have anybody like that, but that does happen. You have some guys that are going to go and just ball out, and you're just going to have to deal with that. So, but it's not panic on that. Now, you have guys that could be coming back on the roster, right? You have Griffin Herring, who's in the draft, sophomore eligible. I believe he's coming back. I believe it would make him better. It would increase his value to come back and become a starter. Holman, gone, right?
Yeah.
Fidel Ulloa,
possible
potential. Listen, relievers, a lot more potential to get a reliever back.
Yeah.
As a senior. Because unless they're drafted in the top 5 or 6 rounds, like the money.
Or but to be drafted in the top 5 or 6 rounds as a reliever means one. There's two things. You probably have either incredible stuff, and or your numbers from the season, and or the year before, maybe in the summer in the Cape, are incredible.
Yeah.
So like Grant Taylor. Grant didn't play last year, but what he did in the Cape was enough for them to say, yeah, we need him.
Well, and they projected him as a starter.
And because they saw him in the summer as a starter.
But right?
Yeah, so my point, so like your
these guys
point,
who aren't starters, right?
If you got
just
a guy who's, but my point, I guess, when I bring up him is they hadn't seen him do it over a year.
Yeah.
But it's but we saw what it was in the Cape against the best talent,
right.
And we saw what he did there. So you take somebody like Fidel Ulloa, and you're like, yeah, maybe. I mean, he's got the stuff and everything, but it would make just a ton of sense for him to come back, put up better numbers, get a little bit better and a little more seasoned, and put himself in a better position to go forward, especially as a pro. Because you got to understand, when you're drafted at, I don't know, even at these days, probably after the 3rd round, it makes a ton more sense for you to not rush into pro ball and for you to figure out, how am I going to get to the big leagues quicker? And I think you have a better chance doing that by staying in a college like this and playing against the competition that you're going to play against in a place like this.
Yeah, so Ulloa is not going to get projected as we're saying, as a starter. So they're not going to look at him and say, okay, you've got good fastball, good slider. We're going to draft you as a middle reliever in the 5th, 4th round. If he was projected as a potential starter and see it like you were saying with Grant Taylor, great. I think he's probably going to get drafted later. Because of, hey, you are an actual reliever. We don't see you as a top-end closer, I'd imagine. He's not throwing 100. We see you as a guy that could potentially go up there. And so
eat some innings.
You come in, not even eat innings, get outs in the middle of the game, right? Like he was doing this past year. And so he goes and he says, okay, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do it. Those guys, as you know, Jay, fucking fly up. If you're an older guy and you're dominating out the bullpen and nobody's sniffing you, you're going to go up to the next level, go up to the next level. Listen, the most people to come in and out of teams and get traded in the big leagues, middle relievers. And those guys you see get DFA'd all the time, and all of a sudden they pop up somewhere, and you're like, damn, this guy's been playing for Dominic Leone.
Yeah.
One of the prime examples.
Yeah.
Middle reliever, had some really good years. You look up and like, damn, he's been playing for 10 years.
Yep.
And he's been DFA'd all this time. So I think Ulloa would come back.
The one name, and I guess we probably jumped over and we haven't mentioned it much simply because it's so fresh and so new, and as we're going through this, I'm looking at it again. But the one name that has popped into this thing that is the real wild card to me, not so much for LSU, he's gone, but a guy like Thatcher Hurd, what's going to happen with him and where is he going to go? How do you see that position playing out? Because I'm not sure, like, okay, if for a guy like him, if you put your name in the portal, what would you think it would be for?
I think he's getting drafted. I think he's going to sign.
I think he's getting drafted too. I don't know if he's going to sign because and that. So why would you put your name in the portal if you're Thatcher Hurd, in your opinion?
Leverage
on
the teams that are gonna like to show how much you're worth, I guess, in the sense of like these are the teams. I also got offers from A, B, and C.
Well, you're at a top flight university.
No, but I'm saying I could go from here, and then other schools still want me. I guess like that's leverage.
But that's not leverage.
That's not leverage for the draft, though. I'm not telling you I know the answer to it. I'm literally we're spitballing here.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I would say.
Why do I
like
think
it's another competing offer, I guess, in a sense of I'm at LSU and now look where else I could play, and then you can put NIL in the fold if you want.
So I don't think it has anything to do with that. In my opinion, and I don't know this answer either. In my opinion, I think you put his name in the portal. Don't contact me. I know where I'm going. I think you put his name in the portal because, hey, I know that I don't want to come back here. I haven't really enjoyed the last couple up and down, so I'm going to put my name in the portal. I don't know any of this to be fact or true. This is all spitball.
Right.
I think that I'm good enough, and he is good enough, to get drafted for relatively high. He had a good last start of his career at LSU, right? 5 2/3 against North Carolina, did really well. Maybe they look at him and say, he's got all the stuff. We're going to draft him in the third round, give him $800,000, and then he signs. Or maybe they say maybe he doesn't get drafted high enough, and he goes in somewhere where he's comfortable and just gets to be where he wants to be. I think it's a safety blanket, but I think he's going to sign.
So like that last little part, and this is, I kind of had, that's where my mindset goes in this thing is this a play on me going where I'm comfortable? Okay, well, where are you comfortable? That I don't know. He had a good year at UCLA. Do I think he's going back there? I doubt it.
Yeah.
My guess would be, does he go to a Georgia? Does he go reunite himself with Wes Johnson there? That would be.
Stay awake in class, brother.
I'm trying to massage the back of my arm.
That would be my guess. But if he does that, here's my thing.
Stay awake in class. That's good.
Here's my thing. This is where this thing goes. Is if he does that, if he goes to Georgia, like at the end of the day, I know what the analytics look like on what his stuff. I know he's got electric stuff. I know he's got potential. My question is don't discount that at the end of the day with Wes Johnson last year, without him this year, you ended both seasons with a 7.
Yeah.
So, or a 7+, however you want to look at it. So it's, if those are the same numbers going into next year and you still find a way to end the season with not great numbers, you're not going to make that much of the money back. So it's to me, it's a very weird situation. And obviously I think it's a calculated play by him to put his name in the portal and the do not contact pretty much the last day of being in the portal. I think that's probably for a reason, so it's just, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But I do think in today's game, in today's age, like there's all this opportunity for people understanding what your stuff looks like through analytics and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, you still have to go out there and get outs as well. Yeah. And it's like, it doesn't really matter what uniform you are, where you're at, it still has to be part of it.
So you think he signs?
I don't.
You think he goes to school?
Yeah, dude. I think he put his name in a portal because he feels like what he was or where he was supposed to be going into the season has lost a lot of that leverage, money, or opportunity this season.
Yeah.
So I think he wants to go back and prove it somewhere else, and I don't think he feels like this is the place to do it.
So I agree with that.
But if that's the case, where are you going to go? Because at the end of the day, if you go back West Coast, maybe. But then it kind of gets watered down in the same way, as in the sense of, okay, you went back and put up numbers there, but when you were here, you had a 7 both years. So what is that? So it kind of gets watered down the same way. So if you don't go back West Coast, you don't do it that way. All right, well, if I go back to the coach I had before, who I was comfortable with, who I, hit the back half of the season like I did, well, you still had a 7. This year you had a 7. So if you go back and have a 6 or a 7 again this year, like how do you gain that back?
So, and that's why I think he signs. Because I think you mentioned the analytics and you mentioned all the other stuff. All of that for him tests off the chart. Good carry on the fastball, big breaking balls. He's got 3 pitches for elite pitches that he can throw. His control has been the issue, or his meltdowns in the middle of the games of not getting out certain innings, right? So
then what would be the leverage for getting in the portal?
I don't know why. The portal for me is just he doesn't want to be here anymore. He wants to say if I don't get drafted as high as I am supposed to, or as I want to, I can go somewhere else. I just don't want to be at LSU. That was my reasoning for the portal. But I think somebody's going to draft him because analytics, because all that spin rate stuff is such a big thing, and he's shown flashes of it. And these guys in the big leagues all think that they can make them somebody better. That's their whole thing. Like, oh, this guy's got something you can't teach. Let me go and I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna make him. I can make it work. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. That's why I think he's gonna sign. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he doesn't get drafted that high, and he goes somewhere, Georgia, whoever, and he's more comfortable. I think he's just in the portal because he knows he doesn't want to come back to LSU, and he wants to go somewhere where he's comfortable. And if I get drafted where I need to get drafted, I'm going anyway. I don't know. This is me all spitball. Unless you, I don't know.
No. And, well, that's what I said, and that's why. So and I'm looking at the numbers again too, like 5.68 and a 6.5 or 6.6 this year. Once again, you go somewhere where you're comfortable, and you go and put up the same numbers, you've still lost the same money, maybe even more. So to me, like the move to get in the portal to go somewhere else, how much of that is really gonna elevate you?
2 things, and one of them is maybe pie in the sky, where obviously it was the last day to put your name in the transfer portal, so you do it just regardless.
He said, "Okay, I know I don't want to be at LSU anymore." That's what I think.
And
go ahead.
That's how it hasn't been said yet.
Yeah.
Because that was going to be one of the 2 scenarios in which I put out there. One of which would be he put it out there with the do not contact, which means I'll put my name in the portal just as a backup. Do not contact me. One of which would be I'm either going to get drafted or I'm going back to LSU because I have a do not contact, which means he has to reach out to the other team. The second one would be he's already been contacted and has an idea, like he knows the team he's going to. Do not contact me, anybody else.
Here's what I think
I'm already going to sign to another college.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Here's what I think he did. I think he knew, and he got his agent or whoever to text or get in touch with that coach. Hey, I'm thinking about transferring to. I'm thinking about transferring. I want to go there. Would y'all have me? Yes. Okay. Wait till the last day because it doesn't matter. Wait till the last day. Go out there. Okay. Do not contact. That's where I'm going. That's what I think happened. I don't think coming back to LSU is a possibility.
Yeah, that would put a big red flag on the quote-unquote tampering issue if you've had contact with the player who wasn't in. Yeah, but he wasn't in the portal until he said.
I'm talking about the player contacting the coach.
Right, but I'm saying if he went into that all like with the deal already done, if you want to look at it that way, and then put it into the portal.
Yeah, but say how legal or illegal is that?
I don't know. I'm saying just
anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
I'm not saying that people aren't. I'm wondering how legal or illegal is that?
Because if you're going into the portal with a do not contact, you have an idea of where you're going to go.
Yeah, I 100%.
Right.
Agree
So who would you reach out to?
But I think
somebody that obviously has expressed interest in you already when you weren't in the portal.
Is there? We'll see. I'm not necessarily agree with that because what if he was like, I know I'm good enough. I know a lot of teams will probably take me. Let me say, and I don't know if this is illegal for the player to do anyway, but maybe he contacted that coach, said, "This is where I want to go. If I'm transferring, would you take me? Would you give me a scholarship?" And the guy says yes, and he says, "Okay, boom, I'm there." And now maybe the coach did contact him. I'm saying the coach didn't. This is where Thatcher pursued where he wanted to go. That's what
I would imagine. Whoever it is. It's someone that he's worked with and he's felt success with before.
Right.
I don't know the trees of the coaches that were at UCLA when he was there. obviously we know where Wes Johnson is now, who he worked with last year.
And that's why I said Georgia.
That's why I said Georgia. So, but I would imagine going into what if you pass on taking the draft this year and you go into another draft year next year, there's no chance he's going somewhere brand spanking new with people he doesn't know that he hasn't worked with. There's just no chance.
Right.
And that's why I still put LSU in that little bucket, just because.
Okay.
Because where
here's
else?
the deal. I really do. I really do think he signs.
Yeah, and then all of this is null and void. But I was just saying that because you talk about where you're going to go, where you have familiarity. There's two schools. I mean, he didn't work for Kelly. Like, he didn't work under Kelly. He went here. So it would be either Georgia, or if he wants to stay in school, and you have this do not contact, which feels like, oh, this is fugazi.
Or UCLA.
Right? He could, if they still have the same staff.
Or whoever the staff is.
Well, actually, where is UCLA next year? Oh, they're in
Pac-10.
Pac-10. No.
Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Yeah.
Big Ten ball.
Big Pac-10.
Not Big 12.
No, the Big Pac-10. A lot of
New
travel.
Pac-10. New Pac-12.
Pac country.
Yeah, you're going to be flying from UCLA to go play Rutgers.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Pac country.
Yeah.
But that's
Right
what I
back
was
next
saying.
week
If
to go play
it's
Indiana.
that scenario where it's people that you've had a relationship with, I could see it pie in the sky, because I do want Thatcher to come back just to ride out this entire
I like
thing.
Thatcher. I think he's really good.
I do too, and I would like to, and I love watching him pitch because I'm accustomed to it, and it's such a wild ride where you don't know what you're going to get, but when he comes in, it's electric regardless, and that's what I would think. Who else would give Thatcher the opportunity that LSU would probably give him again, which is to be a weekend starter?
Well, we've also seen Jay that, like, you got to give props to where it's due, and that guy sees he has a guy, and he's done some things from the past. He rides with him, and until you show him that I no longer need this opportunity, I need to go figure it out myself. So he's done that with Thatcher in the last 2 years, where he rode with him until he was good, and then he struggled this year, and he put him back in there in the last part of the season, where you're like,
biggest
where
game?
a lot of people probably looked at it like, I can't believe we're throwing Thatcher.
Yeah.
And Jay went ahead and stuck with him. So I would imagine that's got some merit to him in his mind too. It's that's going to be a very interesting one to watch come the draft day, because I don't know how that's going to play out.
And I do wonder how much the pitching coach changed. And if he does go to Georgia, I guess that would make sense, because early in the year, like when Thatcher first started out, they said that they were working with the pitching coach at LSU, and it was like, we're working on new things that we want him to be able to do to make him get better. And it feels like none of those things panned out. So maybe he's like, I don't want to go back and try more new things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be tinkered with. I just want to go pitch.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's definitely an interesting one. I think that he may have the opportunity. We'll see. But actually, we'll find out in 11 days, 12 days? 12 days. Where he gets drafted.
What is it, the 12th or the 14th of the draft?
I don't know. Sometime in that stretch. It's the 3rd today, so I don't know. It's like 10 days away. I don't know exactly when the draft is. Gage Jump, also a draft eligible sophomore. He's a redshirt sophomore. He's gone. I don't think he comes back.
No.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
Right? Because he is draft eligible. He was a redshirt sophomore.
He's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. Jared Jones, I think he's gone. Josh Pearson back. And Michael Braswell is another interesting one.
He was just at Blue Store in Baton Rouge, so I would imagine he might be having that conversation.
Yeah.
Huh?
Why? I'm confused.
Blue Store Chicken?
Yeah, I know.
He
what Blue
tweeted
Store
about
is.
it. He was just there like 2 days ago, so I'd imagine he's in Baton Rouge. Is all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I think a lot of those guys are in Baton Rouge, though.
Yeah.
Well, some of them are playing like summer ball.
Oh, yeah.
I think some of them are playing summer ball here too, though.
Okay, I'm just
Yeah,
saying
so
he's in Baton Rouge.
He's probably. I mean, he's not playing summer ball because he's gonna wait for the draft. Like guys that are getting drafted don't go to summer ball.
Well,
but
Griffin
he's
Herring's
interesting.
Griffin Herring's in summer ball.
Yeah, but his is a different situation. He's pitching for money.
Mm-hmm.
So Michael Braswell is not going to go to summer ball as a senior or as a junior before the draft because he feels like he's done everything he can do. So he doesn't need to improve himself. He's going to do nothing in the Cape unless he balls out, right? But hurt himself. It's too much of a risk. So you don't do that because you're a draft eligible. You've done what you need to do. Griffin Herring has the leverage of coming back to college, right, and being a starter. And so he's in summer ball crafting his deal whether he gets drafted. Because right now he does really well and he gets drafted, and they give him money because of how he pitched. Or he doesn't get the money he wants, and he comes back, and now he's getting the work in for the next year.
Yeah,
There's honestly very little for guys that are position players / hitters, obviously, to go play summer ball that you can actually make up in summer ball. And it's only because of the sample size of it. You don't play pretty much every day. You're not going to have a ton of at-bats. Pitchers, on the other hand, are able to go there and make a ton of ground because your stuff is your stuff. And they want to see how it plays against top-end type players.
Right.
So, like, that's where that conversation is a little different.
Yeah. A good example, Anthony Renato.
Great example.
He was a junior. He was projected top 5 pick before the season started. 6'7" big righty. Obviously, y'all know who he is. But his sophomore year, he was dominant. Touches 97 with his fastball, big breaking ball, All-American, the whole deal. Comes back as a junior. That same profile. He gets hurt. A bunch of stuff happens. He's still really good, just didn't have the season that he wanted to have. And so he falls in the draft. I think he gets drafted like 44th overall or something like that by the Red Sox. Oh, yeah, by the Red Sox. And so after he was drafted, he goes into the Cape. And so he got drafted because the draft used to be earlier, and he was pitching in the Cape to show that he was healthy and to show that he was really good. And he didn't give up one earned run while he pitched in the Cape after he got drafted, and that raised his asking price. Hey, this was before the hard slots. And so, his agent was like, hey, listen, he's back. He saw what he did against the best competition with wooden bats. He's not worth the 44th round pick, or 44th overall pick. He's worth whatever, top 5, 10 pick, whatever it was. So he got, he increased his value by doing that.
I'm interested
That's
to
an
see
example.
where I think he's going pretty much no matter where he goes, but I want to see how high a Jared Jones will go.
Me too.
That's what I want to see.
Do you think before we get to Jared, what round do you think Braswell? You think if Braswell gets drafted at all, he's gone?
I don't know.
What round do you think is the cutoff?
That's a very good question, man, because like we talked about those situations being different than what it was when it was 50 rounds or when there was more rounds. I don't know, man.
Because think about it. Teams now have, let's say, 20 picks in the draft. And let's say out of those 20 picks a year, 10 of them, majority of them would be college probably. Out of those 20 picks, let's say 15 of them are college. Okay? So those 5 guys are going to go to like rookie ball,
right?
Whatever. The next 15 guys are college. So let's say out of those 15 guys, 8 of them are pitchers. So now you have 7 position players that get drafted in 20 rounds. I'm making this point because it's 20 rounds now. It used to be 50, where every year you had this pool of all these people, and then the teams would basically go out, play half the season, and then you come back for spring training, and they would really evaluate you, and they cut some guys they don't think would whatever.
Right.
Now you don't have that luxury. They have to field teams, so now you don't have as much of a competition, and so it kind of increases the value of being drafted, in the top 20 or so rounds. So I think, anyway, back to the question. What's the cutoff, you think, the rounds?
I would say after the 5th, he comes back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would think so.
Wow.
If you're asking me where I think
no,
he's getting drafted, that's a different question.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. That's just
no. I'm saying if you're asking me where I think he's getting drafted is a different question.
You got it right. Like I'm asking, like what in his mind do you think? When does he come back? You said he has to get drafted 5th round or higher to leave.
I would think so.
Wow.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Financially, I'm just saying, like, I'm giving my reason why. I just think financially, where you're going to go play, the competition you're going to be playing, and what can be made up by playing in this league nowadays, it just makes much more sense to come back and do it again. Because, like, we never seen him really hit for power. And I'm not going to sit up here and say Braswell's a 12 to 15 homer guy, but maybe he gets scratches and gets close to that 10. Maybe he plays even a more sure-handed shortstop than he did last year, because that was one of his calling cards anyway when he came in. So, like, if he cleans that up and plays to his top end in the field, if he once again goes out there and hits 300, if he puts a little bit more pop into it, you're like, okay, I think there's a little more leverage for him next year. I just think what he's able to get maybe financially, opportunities off the field, and obviously the opportunity to play in the competition he's going to get to play on the field. Wow, that's a big thing. I think he's got a chance to come and do a lot here if he stays here as opposed to going in the draft.
Yeah.
Unless you were to go in those top 5.
Look, and you're right. You could be right. I had a higher number. Like that's why I was so shocked. Not that anybody's right or wrong. I said 11th. I was thinking 11th.
11th round.
Yes.
Top 11 rounds, he's going.
That's what I thought. But I don't know him. And
I don't either. And I don't know exactly what he's looking for.
Right. Like, does he want to go play pro ball? Does he want to be that guy and say, I'm going to be out there? And I'm like, when did Jordan Thompson get drafted last year?
I think 5 to 8 somewhere.
Yeah, I think
6th round.
Right.
We were casually
15th round.
Yeah.
15th.
Okay, that's right. So,
15th.
like, is he like a Thompson who
Right.
I'm a 3-year guy? I get drafted in the 15th round. I want to play pro ball. Let me go.
Well, you got to also too remember, Jordan Thompson did that off of. Maybe this played into it. Maybe it didn't. 1, you won a national championship.
Right.
2, it didn't end great for him personally.
Right.
So maybe at that point he's like, "Look, bro, I did 3 years here. I won a natty.
Maybe he's over it.
I kind of spiked my draft stock right here at the end of it. Let's just go."
Yeah, and you're maybe right, but.
And you saw Jay bring in a shortstop during their run on the College World Series, so he probably had a feeling that he was
gone, right? So he was definitely a guy I was going to get in. I enjoy my time. I'm going to play pro ball. And there's a lot of guys that do that, right? And there's a lot of guys that I love it here. I love it in college. I love playing here. I don't really care as much to hurry up and get into pro ball. I want to get to pro ball, but I'm only going to go if it makes sense. And that would be a 5th round moving up.
And I think too because like baseball has like we know, baseball has a very unique deal where you don't have to hard enter into the draft.
Right.
So when Jordan Thompson gets drafted by the Dodgers, who is a hometown team of his, who is notoriously known as one of the better developers in the league, that makes the decision for him be like, wait, this could make a lot of sense here.
Yeah.
So like something like that also helps him as well to make the decision that he made.
Does Gavin Guidry get drafted?
When? This year?
He's draft eligible.
I'm gonna go with no.
I'm gonna agree with that.
I'm gonna go with no. And I'm gonna go with he'll be back here next year. And I would hope and I would think that situation will be something that fuels and fires him to go and have.
Well, and my next question is, does he get the opportunity to play infield?
I'm gonna go with no again.
Okay.
And I'm only going with no simply off the fact that it's like, man, if we didn't do it for 2 years straight, what sense would it make to do it at this point?
Yeah.
What do you gain individually?
Maybe
and what do we gain as a team?
Maybe
that's a different conversation.
Like if it ends up they don't
but
get the guys they want.
As of right now, today on July 3rd, if you need someone who you haven't let do it for 2 years,
you're in a bad spot.
You're in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything on his ability, his talent, or whatever it is, but at this point right now, if you need someone to do it who you haven't let do it over the past 2 years, that tells me you're not in a very good spot at all.
Yeah.
So I would hope that they're not in that spot. And that is zero slight on the kid at all.
Right.
At all.
I mean, he did bat 1,000 last year.
He did. He did.
Yeah, just like Nate Fury batted 500.
Just like Bo.
I bet he doesn't let you forget that at all.
He hit 500 in the SEC. 2 doubles. Line-to-line guy. Down the first base line, down the third base line.
Bo did he?
Early
Hit
and late.
1,000 his freshman year as well.
With a homer.
With a homer.
1 for 1 with a homer.
Yeah.
And a torn ACL.
400. I mean,
and
4,000
torn
OPS.
UCL.
4,000 OPS that year.
Crazy.
Crazier things have happened.
We have some news coming across the wire.
Here we go.
On this same conversation. LSU baseball has added Incarnate Word outfielder pitcher Dalton Beck.
All right. You know who would know a lot about him? Will Davis, probably. Because Incarnate Word in the same division as Lamar.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, outfielder left-handed pitcher Dalton Beck has committed to LSU. Beck had a .348 batting average, 15 home runs, 49 ribbies.
Okay.
He was the number 26 player on the transfer portal big board.
Okay. We've brought in a lot of outfielders.
Yes.
A lot of outfielders. Him.
Stanfield.
One of the other guys we brought in plays outfield and infield, I think.
I think that's the only 2, actually, so far, right now. Well, I guess you can say the Eddie, what is
Yamin?
Yamin. Little outfield first baseman.
Yeah.
So he can, but,
Yeah.
you know.
So we still haven't brought in a middle infielder, but that's another listen. That's a pickup, and he's put some really good there. Look at you working.
Watch out.
This is what Lloyd's doing when he's not being a personality.
Oh, he has a short finish. On Apo Taco though, right over Jury Plaza.
Great sponsorship.
Well,
Shout out
that
Jury
looks
Plaza.
tough.
No free ads.
tough
He's
run.
a big kid.
Big kid.
Tough run. Big kid.
Oh, talked a little shit.
Simple. Just you see the finish.
Jeez, Lloyd, can we get one more clip? God, dog.
Oh, yeah, we can.
You just rerunning the same clip.
Well, I just wanted to see. He's got a little attitude. I don't know what shortstop
No, I
said.
don't care about
but-
that.
Give
too.
damn
I
about his
was
attitude. I want to see the swing. I want to see what
Yeah,
we're getting as
my
a player.
guys,
I just want to see a
on base is
personality.
like,
Oh, fuck you.
let's see him one third time.
No, you don't get it.
We don't have any more.
I'm
you're
going
fine.
to pull
I
up
thought
some more. I wanted to have to get the
I thought you
stats.
had more.
No, I can get some
Um,
more.
Big pickup. Needed, maybe. No, he's an outfielder. Outfield pitcher. Maybe I don't. And did he pitch? Do we have any pitching stats on him?
No, not that I could find, but
Okay, so he's an outfielder.
yeah, I think he would come in as an outfielder.
Okay. 350 with 12 pumps and 49 RBIs
No,
in a
15.
conference that
15 pumps.
15
49
pumps.
RBIs.
49 RBIs.
348, 46. 48, 46. One of the two. 15 and 48.
Pretty good. 340,
49.
350, whatever he hit. Good numbers. In a
348.
conference it was pretty competitive. I think they should have gotten 2 teams in the tournament with Lamar being the second over and Nichols. But there we go. Another addition. As we were talking about the subtractions, do we have? You want to go straight to Ask Mikey and Mitch? Since
We
it's
do.
on
We
Feds?
have some questions in
Perfect.
there.
I figured at 7:06. I figured we'd get to the Ask Mikey and Mitch. Actually, before we get there, and this is probably gonna be one of the questions. We talked about everybody else. We got to Jared Jones. I walked away from Jared
Line
Jones.
down to center. Roccaforte on
Where
the
do you think he
course.
gets drafted? Is
Great
that him?
diving catch by
Simply in the
Austin
outfield.
That's not him.
Roccaforte.
That was not him.
No, that's him
100%
batting.
The same human.
No, that was him in right
That was him
field.
swinging, dude. That's him hitting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Great catch, though. Still, same swing.
Yeah, that's Lamar though.
It's like that's 100% not him.
Well, I figured, why would they put this out there?
That's the better question. You gave us the highlight.
There was only 2 on Twitter. I just assumed something good
What
was
was
about
it?
to happen.
What was the question you had?
Where do you think Jared Jones gets drafted?
Woo! That is the 4th wonder of the world. I go somewhere between high end, like really high end. Somebody falls in love with him, 2nd round. I think realistically somewhere between the 3rd and 5th.
Okay.
That's what I think.
I think my high. See, we're opposite on this one too. I'm the other way. You were higher on, not higher on, but thought the round thing. I think his top end is supplemental, and I think he's going to get drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round. Like, I don't think he gets past the 3rd round. That's what I think. But,
I mean, we saw it with
Yeah.
Greg Dykman before, so I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not that surprised.
right. I mean, I don't know. Do I think is he going to be a first rounder? I don't know. But like you said, someone could fall in love with him and say, man, that is some real pop. And he walked whatever. But, yeah, okay. So, nothing after the 5th, but I really think that, here's another one. Oh, that's better. He kind of finished that one a little bit better.
There we go, Lloyd. There we go. Now we're getting some real
The ball's smushed.
footage
That's
by
some
Lloyd.
footage, yeah. Look, we'll go
Yeah,
back.
see, I mean, there's a reason why the ball got juiced. Watch the finish. So he actually, he still shorts backswing, but, not cutting it off a little bit. Short swing.
How big is he, Lloyd? What kind of size we got? What's the profile at?
Let's
What's
see.
the add 15, add 3 inches at?
Let's see. Let me find it. All I have is averages, if you want those. He hit 5 home runs in 5 games at one point, but I'll get back to you on the size.
I mean, he looks good. He's a big dude.
He looks like a pretty decent sized kid. Yeah.
6'2", 195.
Okay. Yeah.
So 6'1", 190.
There you go. There's probably a little more thump in there.
Yeah.
Something to work with right there.
That's a big pickup. All right, ask Mikey and Mitch.
Ask Mikey and Mitch. Let me get out of this and onto here. Here we go. Ask Mikey and Mitch. The first one was from Melody.
Who?
Melody Benedict Walsh. Ask Mikey and Mitch, do you see LSU still getting a shortstop and a third baseman in the portal or plugging a freshman there?
I think they're trying. I think they're trying hard. I think they're going to keep putting the money in there. I say the money. I think they'll keep putting everything in that basket until they're told no on the right ones. I do think they're trying to get the guys that are in the top end of this portal in that situation.
I agree. I think they're trying. They're going to get somebody. You know, you have a guy we talked about earlier with Braswell in the draft. Is he going to come back? We'll find that out. But I think they're going to go get a couple infielders. I think if they could make it, in my mind, if Braswell does come back, they'd like to go get someone to play at short and put Braswell at third. That's what I think. But they're definitely trying. They haven't gotten one yet, but there's still some in the portal that haven't committed. People think that kid from Louisville is going to A&M. But A&M now, that guy from UW is in the portal, so I don't know.
Compete.
Yep.
Oh, not an ask, but a tell. Jason Armstrong just heard from an extremely good source that William Schmidt is likely coming to school, the Catholic pitcher.
I know. I heard that too.
Yeah, we'll find that out on draft day. That's a draft day. That's gonna go all the way into the draft.
I have heard that too, from very reliable sources. But if he gets drafted where he's projected to get drafted,
yeah, that one's gonna go until draft day. I promise you. I don't care what's being said, unless he straight up pulls his name out of the draft. That one's going until draft.
It's easy to say until they offer you 6.5. You know.
Yeah. I want to play for my home school. I love LSU.
And look, even if you come from a well-off family, I don't know his situation, but I'm just saying, even if you do or don't, right? Like, yeah, but you have. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of money to turn down. I'm as pro college as you can get. Like, if he gets drafted and he signs for, they offered him 3.5, I'd say go to school. So still a lot of money to turn down, but I think he has upsides more than that. But I don't think he's coming.
Back to the previous question. We'll see. So you're talking about, obviously, Infield, James Allen. Ask him what are the chances LSU gets the Louisville shortstop?
Why are you doing that to us?
I mean, I wanted the question to go recognized, but say the same answer.
I don't know what the chances are. I mean, 50. I don't know.
I mean, look, the
he's good though. He's the number one.
He's still in the portal right now. Yeah. You got to imagine that everyone has reached out to him. And is there a world that maybe they are seeing what happens with Braswell and what doesn't? Maybe he is waiting to see that. I don't really know. But like you said, he's in the portal right now, so I would think you are somewhat in the running for him. It's hard for me to believe we're not in the running for him, but we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think y'all know the answer to that, so I'm not going to ask it. Okay. Ask Eminem. This is from our guy Fonz. Did anything prepare you for your first night game at LSU, and did it live up to your thoughts of what it would be like?
That's a great question, because back in our day, what did prepare us for that is that Maneri had this huge thing about practicing under the lights, especially the week going into that first game.
That's awesome.
So we would that week going into the first game, it wouldn't just be like them boys all did fall ball practice and for everything except for maybe the Fall World Series was under the lights. And I think towards the back end of Maneri's time here, we started actually making that stuff under the lights too. But we did do practice. We wouldn't practice at 2 o'clock. We went on the field at 2 o'clock at those times. Those games, we'd be in uniform. So like one day you'd be in the white uniform because he wanted you to know this is what the white uniform feels like. This is what the lights look like right now at 7. So we practiced that night. So yeah, he was huge on that. So we did actually have a good feel. Obviously, you can't fill the stadium with warm bodies like
but you had some stadiums filled before you got to baseball.
Yeah, I had a little.
So you got the experience
with crowd noise before.
Yeah, you had a little experience playing under the lights, but in a bigger arena, which is a football field. I, coming in as a freshman, did not, and so I got to play. Same thing he said. You train. You're able to do the last week practice under the lights, but I didn't start right away. So I got to see it from the side, and I got to kind of feel it so that by the time you're in it. And to be honest with you, once you're out there, dude, you don't think about that, to be honest with you. Yeah. You don't think about it until either before or after. When you're in there, you're in there.
There's only a couple things you got to get used to when playing under the lights. And then it's really, all right, how do balls that are hit towards gaps, doesn't matter where you're playing.
Yeah, which one gets in the lights?
Ones that are passing through the lights and understanding, because that when you're coming in as a freshman, you probably don't play in many stadiums with the light bar that most college and obviously professional stadiums have. So like when you're running towards balls in the gaps is when they're passing through lights of how understanding ball flight and kind of how to read balls when they pass through lights and kind of going. That's really the only thing. Other than that, it's no change. Twilight's the worst.
You can't prepare for that.
Can't prepare anywhere.
And there's nothing. I mean, you can prepare. It's just gonna be the same thing.
That's the same. You can't prepare. You can't see it. You just try not to take your eye off. Of else. You can't see it.
Shut up, Squints. Fonzarelli again, asking him, did you have a pregame meal ritual, or did the meal change depending on how you were playing?
I think we've had this question before.
We have. I think Fonz asked this.
I think he has.
I
Before,
think he has.
I got to give Fonz the leash.
That's
though.
fine. That's fair.
Yeah. I didn't have a pregame meal. No.
No meal.
I didn't really have one in college either. I guess towards the back end of pro ball, my pregame meal and/or ritual was whatever got me hits the day before. So we keep going on it as long as we got hits, and if we didn't get hits, time to change that shit up.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have a ritual. I loved when we'd go to eat brunch places, but it wasn't like specific orders.
Denny's.
I didn't love. I will say this: I didn't love eating. So I would eat big meals before BP. I didn't love eating like a lot of guys eat a full meal like hour before the game, 2 hours before the game. I couldn't do that. I was like big meal before BP, go through BP, snack on whatever it was I was snacking on before the game, and kind of have like a energy bar or something during the game. Or
I'll either get like a fold over peanut butter sandwich, like not even a full sandwich,
Working man sandwich,
or where I would just make like a shake.
Yeah, I used to like the Gatorade like energy bars or like something like a shake or something like that during the game. I didn't like playing on a full stomach.
I'll tell you what, after the game I was starving.
Oh yeah, after the game it was over. I was eating the house after.
Yeah.
You feel me?
just like the peanut butter and jelly, just like the New York Giants GM.
Yeah, I was.
I've
never been a PB&J guy though.
I've just only been a PB guy.
Me too.
No J.
You like the crunchy peanut butter, or you like the
smooth?
You like that runny junk?
No, I'm runny, just silky smooth.
I feel like peanut butter isn't good for us anymore. They probably
I don't know.
like the Jif.
But
that man talked about peanut butter sandwiches for probably 15 minutes. That's all he had to say in the car
I'm
ride.
weird when it comes to eating, bro. Like you can only catch me with peanut butter when it's on like the little like crackers they used to put them on.
Peanut butter crackers are good too.
But like
no Uncrustables.
I'm not picking up the Jif and just throwing it on a slab of bread.
No, listen, I don't do that now.
I can't do it.
I haven't done it since I played, but I didn't mind a good PB&J, and if I had some time, toast the bread.
Look at you, really working.
Yeah.
I was too busy taking that pregame shower.
Pregame shower was big for me too.
I would do jumping jacks in the shower. I'm just kidding. I never did that. I'm lying.
Dry swings.
Dude, dry swings. I definitely. Hey, listen to me. Listen to me.
Dry swings were. They're possible to happen.
This is no joke.
Everywhere.
This is no joke, dude. You get out of the game, and if you had a game was struggled, right? Like you didn't play well, or the team didn't play well or hit well. You can walk in the shower at high time, and you see multiple guys trying to figure out their swing, naked dry swings.
I'm just gonna be honest with
like
you, bro.
Lows, I'm like, you walk in there like, what are we doing?
The best hitters you ever play with from year to year, they will take dry hacks anywhere and everywhere, and it don't matter what. Like I've seen dudes sleep with bats in their bed. I've seen dudes walk around the hotel in just their underwear and a bat. Like, bro, why is this bat in the hotel? Like, it's just part of it.
Crazy. We got any more?
Yes. Oh, now we know what happened to Brandon Nimmo. Dry swings in the shower.
Potentially.
Knocked himself out.
Yeah, dry swings. Huh?
Oh, and here's a question. I'm kind of formulating myself, but this is what's going on in the chat.
Kind of what yourself?
I'm formulating this question based off what is being said in the chat.
My hypotheses.
Yes. They're talking about getting lower level players to come to LSU as opposed to taking maybe bigger swings in the portal and things like that. Do you think that this is going to be a new approach from Jay Johnson, or is this a one-off?
I think if you look at the best teams with the best transfers, they've done this. Last year, the runner-up in college baseball at Texas A&M had 2 of their starters come from Ivy League schools. So,
and their catcher,
right? Like they had a lot of people coming from these small schools, and I think now more than ever, you're seeing these guys develop somewhere, pitch well, come here. The kid from Southern Miss, first rounder from Florida, transferred to Florida. He was, so I think this is a good approach. I don't want to say new. I think it's a good approach. And it's like if you can evaluate the guys and you believe you can develop them, more power to them. You still go after some of the big guys, but these other guys I think are big pickups.
Yeah, I think baseball, when it comes to size and strength as like physical wise, and then when it comes to the actual fundamentals and tools of playing in the game, I think it's one of those sports that you can see guys start developing at a little bit later age than just the straight up phenom that's great out of high school. So with that being the case, like, I think there is ways of finding guys that were at smaller schools or in smaller conferences that do well there for a year or two, and you can find these guys to come over to a school like this and be very productive because they have that, you know, the experience in them a little bit, and they've developed their game a little bit because they've gotten to go out there and play, and then they turn into something here. I do think baseball is probably, of the big three sports, probably the one where it's that process or that approach is more applicable than any other sport.
Yep.
It's hard to find a kid that's 18 that's 6'1", and all of a sudden he's 6'7" at 19 and has the coordination and everything, and you want to pluck him from a small school in basketball. That doesn't really, I won't say it doesn't happen, but it's harder to find that than the kid that just kind of blossoms a little bit later on the mound or in the field or puts his swing together or finds some pop or whatever, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
And maybe it feels like he has more of a sense of stability, like going to get a kid from that's already transferred. It feels like if you have 2 to play 2 or whatever it is, like if you can get him early enough to where he can play.
What does 2 to play 2 mean?
2 years to play 2 seasons. So he could play one and then still get drafted and still have his, like,
Oh, you're saying
leverage.
he's coming here as a junior?
No, he's coming here as a sophomore.
You said that like that. I didn't know that's the thing. People say that?
He's coming as a sophomore.
People say
2
that?
to play 3. Yeah.
I never heard that before. You heard that before?
I mean, it makes sense, but I've never heard it.
It all happened during
I
the
think Lloyd just made that shit.
No. Check Tiger Droppings when Zach Mettenberger committed here. It was unbelievable. It was like, how many years of eligibility? He's like, he's got.
So which I know what you're saying. You have 5 once you enroll in school, you have 5 years to play 4 seasons. You get a redshirt year. That's
Right.
why the 5 to play
No, I
4.
understand what he's saying, but he said it like it was a commonly used, like a little phrase. I've never heard it before. That's what I was asking. I was like,
No.
what you mean?
Mettenberger days. Nobody could figure out what his eligibility was because he played at Georgia for a year. Did that year count? Then he went to community college. Did that year count towards? Yeah. And so it was just a long running theme for Mettenberger's career, especially after the national championship when probably should have played.
Fair.
Oh, here we go from James Allen again.
Cooking.
Ask him, do you think Ryan Kucherak has some inside information that Braswell was coming back or that we were going to get the Louisville shortstop? If so, is that why he left?
I think he saw a shorter window to him being able to play shortstop. However it may happen, that's what I think, yeah.
I don't think that he knows anything that's happening on that end. I think that he didn't get the assurances.
Yeah.
We're shopping that position.
That he was going to be the starter, be the next guy up. And so he's like, all right, instead of risking it, let me go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Thought kids like to compete. Ask him. This might be the last one up. Yes, last one here. Ask him. Beachfront, cruise, mountain, lakefront, vacation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cruise
If you
out.
pick a cruise, you're
Cruise
a lunatic.
Out. Cruise out.
I got 2, and one of them's not in there. It depends on what I'm trying to do. Beachfront, I'm trying to be lazy as hell, yo.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do nothing. Like, I'm not trying to go nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to go lay by this pool in a cabana all damn day.
The pool?
And I'm not trying to do nothing. So, like, beachfront, that's what it's for. The other one, bro, I like to go to, like, bigger cities and, like, actually tour what's going on in the city. Like, see what's... Oh. What you mean?
That sounds like work.
Why would I... If I'm gonna go somewhere, I want to see what's life like there as a person.
Yeah.
So like I want to do that. I want to be able to kind of bounce around and see what they do, how you do it, but that's the 2 different sides. If I'm trying to go to a beach though, I'm chilling. Yeah.
So if I'm talking about vacation, like my true vacation for me, I'm going to I'm chilling. Vacations, like I got nothing. If I'm going on a trip, and that to me it's different, right? Like. Hey, we're going to go on a trip, which means like it's kind of like a vacation, but you're also doing that, immersing yourself, bebopping around, like you're active. If I'm going on vacation, in my mind, I ain't doing shit, right? Like I'm going to hang out there, I'm having drinks, I'm still. So vacation, the way I define it, are those. I like the beachfront. I'm a big beach guy, and I love lake. I love both those. So I go 1, 2. Lake, it's more. I don't want to say exclusive, right? But you're not on top of everybody. Like it's not as many people, but you get the water. You have to deal with the sand, it's chill. That would be my
Jet
first.
skis.
Like I
Sharks.
like the ability to go to a different city and then like pop into their coffee shop and just talk reckless, like say something crazy to them because why y'all don't know who I am. I ain't ever gonna be back here again. So I'm just gonna go crazy. Like I like doing stuff like that. So for me, like I want to go to. Wait, where's the dinner spots here? Where's the out
right.
spots
I like that.
Where's I want to do that. Yeah, I like that.
I like that too. And that to me, that's considered like it's not like a work. It's not. I just consider that like a trip. Like I'm gonna go take a trip. We're going taking a trip to New York. Yeah. Which means I'm gonna go. We're gonna go to dinners. We're gonna go. Have some drinks at the bar. We're gonna do this stuff. It's not necessarily relaxing. It's just
Tourista.
Hey, we're gonna go have a good time at a different place.
Yeah, because like maybe like in my mind, like if that's a vacation, it's all right. I want to get away. I want to vacate from what my normal life is. Then that doesn't matter if it's super busy or super nothing. Yeah. But like when I go somewhere else, I want to be able to. This is not the norm. This is what I want to go do, whatever that may be. So
that's good. It's two different perspectives on vacation.
Yeah,
vacation to me is I'm doing nothing physical. I don't want unless I want to. And a trip is still considered technically a vacation, but a trip for me is I'm going to go and do all the other stuff that I'm not really going to do on a vacation.
I would love to vacation with my mother. She schedules 18 different things to do in 2 days.
Well, that's vacation on me. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we don't do trips. The trip is either the vacation.
I think that's quote unquote vacation with all women. I don't really think you have much of a choice. I think it's
brutal.
Here, for the most part.
Yeah, trips, I can do that.
I hate having shit scheduled like that. Unless it's a tea time, which is why...
Well, I'm not really scheduling it either, but I'm like, hey, yeah, we can go pop and see these types of
At some point, I want to go see this thing.
There you go. No, don't put me on a schedule.
Yeah, at some point, I'm going to do this, right? Like, if I have to make reservations, okay, we'll have a reservation. Now, I'll just do whatever I need to do to make sure that I'm there for the reservation.
Right.
If I have to plan something, I get that. But we ain't... Oh, we're gonna go see this at 1. This at 2:15. Because
we got to finish this because we got to go to this one at this. No.
Yeah, because you know what happens? You go, okay, we're gonna go have breakfast or brunch, and we're gonna be at this place the next time. Well, what happens when brunch takes a little longer than you anticipated?
Oh, you're actually having fun.
Now you're stressed because you're gonna be late to the other thing. So instead of enjoying it, you're stressing out because you're always on a time crunch, as opposed to saying, "Hey, we scheduled. We're going to brunch at 11. Perfect." Go to brunch at 11, all of a sudden, damn, this place is cool. There's a DJ in the corner maybe. Yeah. You got some good drinks. The food's fire. Damn, they're bringing out these really cool desserts. All right, we're just going to hang out, chill, drink. Next thing you know, damn, it's already 1 o'clock. We're late for our next deal. Or it's like, oh, no, we're good. Now we're drunk. Now my whole mindset has changed of what I want because I'm in a different state of mind. So now instead of going to this museum that you wanted to.
Or if you're going to schedule it, you give yourself like legit ample time.
Yeah.
Like when we went to Spain last summer, it was all right. Well, we're gonna go to lunch here and to dinner here. Dinner's at this time.
Right.
We can kind of pop into lunch or whatever. But we want to go see the church. But you can only go at time. Well, all right. Well, I'm not going at 1 because who knows what time we actually gonna roll into this lunch spot and how long we gonna stay there. But I'll pop into the 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
so like stuff like that.
There's times you got to do it. Yeah. When you like, hey, we're only open at this window. Okay, so we got to plan for that. We got to see that, so we got to plan for that at some point. But the other things that like, you don't really need to set a time or reservation. What if you go like you have fun? Now your mindset changes. Let me go somewhere else. I don't want to do that.
That's what happened to me.
I want to keep drinking.
In Italy, we stayed out until like 4, 5 a.m.
Yeah, but the beauty of that is nobody wakes up or nobody like goes to work till like noon, right?
Unless you schedule a touring of an olive oil facility at 6 a.m.
I'm gonna tell you what.
6 a.m.
Listen, let me tell you what.
I wouldn't have gone.
I didn't have a choice.
I could have been up and doing jumping jacks at 6 a.m. and you ain't getting me to do that.
It was awful.
Was it interesting? You weren't interested in it?
I was so hungover. I was drunk still. Which
they didn't give you like
part.
bread and olive oil?
No, just olive oil to sip on. No. And I was so dehydrated and still hammered, and I was like, "This is unbelievable."
That makes you want to throw up.
Oh actually. Yeah, there's a lot of.
Did you throw up?
No,
I imagine.
No, I was 16. No, 18, 19. I just got out of high school, so I just was ready for another cocktail.
You missed 17, 16, 18, 19.
Yeah, I didn't do it when I was 17.
Okay.
And it was right out of high school.
Okay.
So I was living in Lafayette.
Okay.
It was brutal.
So how do we get on this? Was that the last Mikey and Miss question?
Yeah. And for me, for my money, it used to be beach, but now, like you said, it's too many people.
We got way off on that.
Yeah, it's great. Now we know your mindset.
Yeah.
But beach, too many people now. You can't relax as much as you'd like to. And so, given the opportunity, lake is by far the best of the options. You can golf, Sea-Doo, whatever.
Don't have the sand.
Yeah, and you can you're on your own time.
Yeah.
Love that. And the
I like
golf
that
and
too.
the weather. Really just want to golf.
All right. Thanks for the Ask Mikey and Mitch.
Ask Mikey and Mitch.
Ask Mikey and Mitch questions. America's Day tomorrow, boys. It's the day we get to play baseball underneath the fireworks.
Eat hot dogs.
Eat hot dogs.
There were menaces on that holiday. What a great setup for the 4th of July. I don't think there's a better
lot of cutoff
montage
shirts and shorts. What montage of what?
Of what 4th of July baseball in America is then that scene when they go play baseball underneath the fireworks.
Going at the fair.
Yeah, you're like
throwing up on Chew.
Yeah,
like,
we're going to play ball.
Literally, and then we're gonna go play underneath the lights.
The firecrackers,
right.
Fireworks. I mean, it's just
right.
so a slice of Americana that probably isn't so sensationalized, but it is awesome.
Speaking of the beach, man, I imagine the beach is gonna be packed. It's packed.
Sounds brutal. It's so hot.
A lot of shark sightings.
Nah,
that's why you're skipping out.
A lot of shark. That's not why.
That's why I stay in the cabana, cause I ain't going down there.
A lot of shark sightings. Not great.
No sir.
That would
Not
be
great.
just to talk about a kink in the armor, a kink in the plans. Oh, dude, can't go. Got bit by a shark. This isn't vacation at all.
Have you ever been a 4th of July vacay guy?
See, that's what I was going to bring up. Is it feels like in my older age, everything's changed. 4th of July used to be an absolute throwdown. Everybody's together, early drinking, dogs on the grill, burgers, and then you're just getting rip shit, getting in the boat, all of those things. And now
you get married, then you have kids.
That's
you
exactly
what
what's
happens.
happened.
Yeah, that's what happens. But then you still have the opportunity to get together. It just looks a little different.
A little different.
It's not what I'm trying to do.
Did you grow up doing 4th of July vacations? Did y'all?
No, I think we were still playing all the time.
Yeah, that was my. I mean,
I literally think we were still playing baseball all the time.
Yeah, so we have baseball tournaments. That'd be kind of towards the end of the season. So we never did it. I did in high school. I did it one time. So I got my first fight in my life on the beach, 4th of July. My mom never wanted me to go. We went. Not great. Didn't go back.
Was it a Dak Prescott situation, or did you hold your own?
Oh, no, I won.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I won. I'm not.
Put some sand on it, kid.
Yeah, it was wild. But anyway, that is. Everyone used to go to the beach, go to Destin, 4th of July, around all my friends. I never did it. I did it one time when I was in high school, but
you didn't get invited back.
Wasn't a huge 4th of July vacation guy.
I think you grow up playing baseball and you don't really know the summer.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't know vacation.
You don't know summer vacations.
The only time I ever had a summer vacation, legit, whole summer not doing anything, was the year I got drafted from LSU, because I wasn't playing. I'd already gotten drafted. I wasn't going to go play in the Cape, do anything to increase my value. The trade deadline, the signing day was August 15th back then.
Yeah.
Right? So
it was the Mikey World Tour back then, basically.
Oh, dude.
Summer of Mikey.
Hey, I went to the beach 4 times that year. I was training, right? But I would go, it was, we'd go. I went 3 separate weekends, but I would the Lafayette the cane cutters. That was the first couple years they had the team, so I would just go take BP and do all my work there, work out, and then on the weekends I'd go to the beach. It was I have never done that in my life. It was awesome, and then never did it again. So enjoyed it once.
You grow up, if you play baseball enough in summer, you grow up and you really don't even know. Labor Day's kind of a day you're wait, what? Because it's, especially once you get into pro ball, too.
Pro ball.
That's like Groundhog's Day at that time of the year, where it's bro, what day is it?
Yeah.
It's baseball. That's what day it is.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing at that point. So once you get out of baseball on the other side of it, you start seeing
damn,
this was
nice.
summer.
Yeah.
Summer
Spring
days.
break, what is that? College baseball. What the hell is spring break? You're never going to get to go do that.
Yeah.
Actually, we're going to be on the road from spring break at the coolest city that we're going to probably play, so you can't have any fun because they're already in spring break.
Yeah.
That's obviously not the way it works, but coincidentally,
in pro ball, the biggest
works.
thing you look up for July 4th is you're I think if it falls during the week, it's probably going to be a good amount of people in the ballpark today.
Yeah.
Because it's in the dead, you're it's probably we're going to have some buzz in here today. So it's
100%. Usually, but you know that's going to be a night game, or you look at
good fireworks show after.
Yeah, Windsor off day. It used to be Windsor off day. Now it's every Monday.
Yeah.
So they got it easy now. Yeah. That's
amazing. You don't, as a baseball player, you don't recognize those dates in the summer because they're
already off the list.
They're ball days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just playing.
Yeah.
It's like work.
Yeah. But now that I'm older and out of baseball, enjoy the 4th of July. We're going to be able to go and hang out with your friends. It's supposed to rain here. Not great. Not ideal. But positivity is going to be great. And here's the deal. In America, when 4th of July falls on a Thursday, week's over with. Coach.
Over. It's like Mardi Gras.
It's done. The 4th of July can happen on a Monday. The end of the week before is over, right? But if it falls on this week, ain't nobody working Thursday or Friday. And maybe not Monday the next week either.
Yeah, we should get Monday off next week. But that's why I put the feelers out to the select friends that we used to do a little something for 4th of July and got
They
the
all said no.
chilling.
Chilling. Hey, we're taking the kids to the community pool.
I got the kids, man. You know, we can't.
The club pool.
And it was just such a shock. I was like, oh, fuck, it's over for sure. Like, this is the group.
Yeah. And then you get older.
And
they get older, and then it happens again. That's how so the kids get old enough to where we're gonna go.
Age?
You go hang out. Probably you got a little ways.
Because I'm still be kicking over here.
You got a little ways.
Might find some new friends.
You got a little ways. You got probably
12 years?
Yeah. No, 10, 11 years. 12 years, yeah.
I'll be in my 40s. Ready.
Oh, you're ready. You'll be ready.
Coach, we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
We can do something.
We're going to be the ones celebrating July 4th together, and however many of them years is.
No doubt. No doubt.
Right around that area.
No doubt. Well, with that.
One real quick.
Okay.
Speaking of 4th of July, obviously, hot dog eating contest. Won't be the same this year without Joey Chestnut. But with that said, I'm starting to buy into what y'all said. I know you're disgusted by it, but I think it's going to be actually competitive this year when you see the odds. So I think it might actually be a little bit of fun. I mean, it was always Joey versus Joey in the record, and now it's actually going to be seeing human beings compete against each other. A little bit of odds coming out.
And maybe he gets Wally pipped. Maybe somebody comes out of nowhere and it's like, damn, this guy we never did know this person. This guy gets close to the record.
What if they
go ahead,
cook the books a little bit, make the hot dogs a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller buns? You can't really tell, and somebody beats his record while he's not there.
Then it's gonna be a challenge ahead.
I tell you what, Lloyd. You go ahead and give me the cliff notes and the highlights.
Yeah, I ain't watching it.
I'll live stream it.
I'm not watching that.
What do y'all watch then?
Not that.
I don't even know if I may not even turn on
I might not watch anything. Who knows?
I think it starts at like noon, but the guy does the intros who's phenomenal at it. This is his big day of the year. It starts at like 12:15, 12:20. It's awesome.
Is it a 20-minute intro?
Oh, he intros every character.
Is he Bruce Buffer?
Computer. Dude, might be better than Bruce Buffer. I need to pull up the audio of Joey Chestnut's last year. It's like 2.5 minutes long. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
I'll see if I can find it.
That's great. That'd be great.
But the odds real quick are James Webb, the newest hot shot, is meeting his eating competitive prime, they said.
What is that?
Because he went from in 2022 he plowed through 41 hot dogs, and in 2023 a substantial step forward, knocking down 47 at this. And his competitor,
six more,
yeah. And so
so they're imagining. So hey,
he just started the speed eating scene a few years ago. So now he's
got work into it. Yeah.
He understands the tempo.
Gotta see the stomach's gotta understand. Okay, this is how I expand. So if he stays on that same rate, 2023 at 6 more hot dogs.
We're at 53.
We're at 53.
Coach, I gotta imagine that next day is just tough.
You gotta imagine they go throw up after, right?
I don't know if you can throw up that amount of that volume. I mean, Joey Chestnut said that he just checks into a hotel and it's like it's the worst.
But say it's got to just be
12 to 15 hours until it comes out the other end.
That's what I'm saying. The next day it's got to be.
Wow, that's terrible.
With the belt on.
No, sir.
That sounds awful.
So the odds have shifted. It was James Webb was plus 175. He's down to plus 105 for today.
Ooh, favorite.
Yes, and now his competitor is 49 years old, meaning he's out of his competitive eating prime.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
how old is the first guy?
That I don't know, but he's from Australia.
Like, what is the competitive eating prime? And how much do you win if you win? Did you find that out?
Yes, I could find that out also. Let's see.
Purse?
Nathan's.
Hot
dogs. Eating contest, prize money.
First place, 10 grand.
10 grand.
Second place, 5
Why
grand.
do
Are
you
you
think
kidding
Joey
me?
Chestnut got out of this thing?
How much money are they making on the show? Like, yeah, you caught it, but you did it before the show. So
Oh, I didn't even drop it. I wasn't even holding it. I just knocked it off the table.
Yeah.
$10,000. I guess you do it for the clout so you get the sponsors after.
Yeah, that's what happened. I mean, you got to be Jaws though.
Yeah, but what are they paying?
$10,000.
He got $2 million from the Impossible Dogs.
That's gross.
And you got to pay your way into like these lower level competitions. Like that's where you start. As you do like, can you finish this
That's what you
burrito
get
in 8
$2 million
minutes
for.
and it's free. And that's when you recognize your talent.
Have you ever done one of those?
Fuck no, I can't.
Have
eat,
you ever done
like-
one of those?
You
Me
definitely have.
No, I haven't.
You should.
I have not.
I don't know this guy's age.
What does that
Oh,
mean?
35. He's
Call me
35.
fat?
No, you can just house.
Oh, I'm in
food.
my competitive eating age.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I should try that.
I'm in mine too, but I'm probably not going to be competing to eat.
Speaking of, I'm hungry.
You could knock out like probably 8 to 10
What?
hot dogs. I think.
What's the time? How long they got?
Yeah, that's the difference. I'm not shoving it in my face like that because that was gonna make me throw up.
How long they got to do it, Lloyd?
Let's see. I think it's 8 minutes is what I want to say. 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes, dude, you could knock out. You could do a dog a minute. 8 dogs.
Maybe 8.
Yeah.
Maybe I could do 8.
I think you could do 8 without really stressing. Like
Yeah, but
that's
it's
16
the time,
bites for
it's
you.
the time. Yeah, but you gotta chew it and swallow it.
I could do probably 8.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little more, but yeah.
It's the rushing for me. Like it's the I ain't dipping that
That's
shit.
what
in
I'm
water.
Definitely not dipping it in water.
Yeah. No.
I think
I'm a texture
no.
guy, right?
Yeah.
So like
No,
no
sir.
shot.
I think you could like add a normal clip, like no double dog in the hand, no water dunk for the bread.
Double dog in there.
I think you could knock out 8 just normal dogs. Little ketchup, mustard.
Yeah, but you gotta have the bun. You have to eat the bun.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Can you
Like,
imagine
it's-
eating 40 damn hot dogs in 10 minutes?
No.
40?
I'll tell you.
Joey Chestnut age 73.
You know
Well,
what?
we were just talking about the last
Yeah.
time.
I'll tell you
That's a
what.
good point.
I did do a long time ago. I did something. How many wings can I eat on 50-cent wing night
Pluckers?
at Buffalo Wild Wings? This is a pro ball.
How was the time limit?
No, it was just like how many like it was an internal competition.
how many did you eat?
It wasn't. Coach, a chicken wing never tasted so bad to me. By the end of this thing.
That's like grounds for like scarring you from ever eating the rest of
dude.
your life.
How long did you go until you ate another chicken wing?
No, it was the. I haven't eaten a bone-in chicken wing from Buffalo Wild Wings since.
Yeah.
Now boneless, that doesn't count as a wing, right?
Guys,
But like,
tune in next week, and in light of the hot dog eating contest, we're gonna get Lloyd to do the whole milk challenge.
Oh, I've
So-
done that before.
of course you have.
Yeah.
How long until it came up?
Actually, I didn't do it, but the fraternity pledges did it. I slipped out of that thing.
We're gonna get you to do it next week. So Lloyd will do it next week live on.
Yeah.
I'll
I'll
tune in
ruin
for it.
all of this.
No, we'll
equipment.
get you outside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
but
had people that legitimately thought they could do it. Like
I've seen somebody try it. It's disgusting.
it's you have no idea how much is in that a gallon's a whole lot of milk.
Bro, that is so much. It's impossible, by the
It's
way.
impossible.
don't try it.
Don't
How
try
many
it.
wings did you eat?
I think it was like 42.
Oh.
It was miserable.
Did you clean the bone? Like how? Like what we say? Eat? Like what we talking about here? How much
Nah,
meat
like-
left on that thing?
A homeless guy could have some food on that thing. You know what I mean? Like you could go pick up, but like it wasn't like it was full of meat. It was just
You could
You,
nibble
you
on
didn't get
it.
the corners. Yeah,
Nah.
get like that.
no.
You went sucking the head on them there, correct?
Right, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad.
You were pulling at the clean bone, wishbone, just.
Oh, here you go. 13 minutes ago, Lloyd. We're supposed to be on this. The Corey Moore will announce his commitment tomorrow on July 4th. We'll be between Texas, LSU, and Ohio State. Texas.
Texas.
Duh.
Hate to see him go.
What a move by the guy. If he decommits and commits back to us. What a move.
I think since he moved up his commitment, he was supposed to go to the LSU splash party.
What is that?
It's like the big recruiting event at Brian Kelly's house.
Oh, that's right.
He saw that. What's his name? Joey Chestnut was out. He was like, "This is a chance for me to steal a day.
I could
right
steal
here.
the show.
I can
Yeah,
steal the
bro.
day."
He ain't.
Get a sponsorship by Nathan's, do the hot dog eating contest, and commit. Later, DK Moore. It was fun for a while when you had the number one quarterback, number one running back, number one wide
Yeah, that's
receiver.
okay. Can't have it all.
Well, sometimes you can.
You want to be a part of that trio. We get it.
No doubt. It's okay. You don't want to win championships. Mistake of the day brought to you by our friends at Dozy Place. What you got, Lloyd?
The mistake of the day brought to you by Dozy Place is from, well, let me preface it by this. If I read you this headline, tell me what your first thoughts are. Arch Manning, Ole Miss football legend through the years, father of Eli Peyton, and grandfather of Arch. What do you think the next words would be?
Say it again. Sorry.
Pay attention. Arch Manning. That's the heading of the newspaper article.
Right.
In Texas.
Archie Manning, Ole Miss football legend throughout the years, father of Eli Peyton, grandfather of Arch, has
always wanted to see his grandson play.
Oh, finish the thing?
Yeah,
has
finished
turned
it.
70.
Oh, supposed to be his died because that's what
Why
everybody
would I
thought.
ever guess that? That's just,
Well,
the way that
I read
could be
it. I
any
read it.
more
Oh, you cheater!
I know. I read
Yeah.
it.
I wasn't gonna say that because I'm like, I'm not gonna wish that on anyone.
Yeah,
so, I'm not doing
I,
it.
read,
it's
I
not-
didn't
reads-
know where you were going with that. I see what you mean. Like
I knew where he was going. I just wasn't
My
gonna
bad.
do it.
It reads like an obit. Archie Manning, Ole Miss football legend throughout the years, father of Eli Peyton, grandfather of Arch.
Oh,
And
you're
it's-
right.
and it's
Survived by. That's what it
Yeah.
sounds like. You're right.
And it's just an article about him turning 75. But great work on the headline to get people to click.
Hey,
because they
clickbait.
left every
Probably the
that was
most
where it
clicks they've
ends.
ever had.
Yeah, and I don't know if that puts you in good graces or not, but I thought that was funny just reading it because you just see it in the Twitter like byline.
Definitely on purpose.
And you're just like, oh my god,
Definitely on
probably
purpose.
dead.
Definitely on purpose.
No, just
right?
a little blurb about him. Yeah, definitely dead.
Yeah. Wow.
Got the story first.
Great.
Not
Got all the
dead.
clicks. Look at what I did. Look at the action I got.
Yeah.
SEO my ass.
yeah. I didn't game the system.
Yeah. All right. So that's your mistake of the day.
That is a mistake.
Or
of the
curtain
day.
could have been curtain
Could've
call.
been a
'Cause it's
curtain
great.
call.
Curtain call brought to you by our friends at Assured Partners. Me. What we got today, boys? Lloyd, you want to start it off?
Yes, my curtain call will be to the future.
Ah.
NBC will be using the AI voice of Al Michaels to commentate highlight packages for this year's Summer Olympics.
Wow.
Yeah, they couldn't bring the old dog out there, so they're just gonna automate his voice.
Wow.
To let him do highlight
AI's
packages.
wild, huh?
Yes. So NBC is bringing a version of famed sportscaster Al Michaels back to the Olympics this summer with an unlikely twist. His voice will be powered by artificial intelligence, while Michaels was at first apprehensive about the idea. Because when I was approached about this, I was skeptical, but obviously curious. Then I saw a demonstration detailing what they had in mind, and I said, I'm in. So I guess I don't know why I guess he can't voice the clips, but he's going to do some readings of what may happen, and then they can pluck and pull.
Yeah. Maybe.
I guess you won't get a, do you believe in miracles? Yes.
Of course. Al's
been there a long time, been doing
he's
it.
He's drifting away into his retirement.
He's going to ask Thursday Night Football if they can do this.
Yeah, he's good. He deserves it.
Man, I'm tired of doing this with Romo.
Okay, it's curtain call for the AI or for him?
For him, I mean, this seems like could be the end of a career here.
Yeah. Yep, no doubt. You got one?
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna bring up 3 different numbered figures. We're gonna go 62.8, 61.6, and the year 2025. The first number is what Jason Tatum is gonna make next year by himself, and we've talked about it already a little bit. The second number is what the top 5 NHL players combined will make next year in salary. Curtain call to Jason Tatum because we're finding out just how much money this man has just signed for over. And I did see a stat somewhere else too that said over the 23-year career that Tom Brady had in the NFL was less than what this contract is by itself.
That's crazy.
It's nuts.
Crazy. My curtain call we talked about a little earlier.
And the sacrifices you make in hockey.
Teeth you talking about?
Yeah, teeth, lower leg,
everything. You're playing. You're skating on knives every day.
Yeah,
it's wild.
It's nuts.
These people take a puck to the mouth, get 35 stitches, and come back and play same game.
Back in. My curtain call is to the future Tigers or the future MLBers, former Tigers. Trey Morgan, Dylan Cruz, making it to the Futures game, playing on opposite ends. So playing against each other in the Futures game, that's really, really cool to be able to say you can do. Great honor for those guys, much deserved. And then potential curtain call, which we'll probably be able to announce on Monday. Could be a curtain call Monday. I'm gonna put it into the universe. Josh Smith making the All-Star team.
There you go.
Hope he makes it. I think he's earned it.
And Paul Skenes.
And Paul Skenes. All right. That's all we got. We'll see you on Monday. Enjoy the 4th of July. Enjoy the weekend. We will be back next week live in studio, 6 8 p.m. Enjoy your week. Be safe. Stay out of the water. Avoid the sharks. Peace.
Pop a firecracker. Eat a hot dog.